Welcome, beautiful people, to our channel. If you're new, we're glad you're here. We have the wonderful Abby Dagnice here. Her information in the description box below. And she will be telling my son, Erik, who is in the afterlife, but also the recently transitioned Jimmy Buffett. And I want to shout out to Erik. Happy birthday, sweetheart.
Erik saying, thank you, thank you. He's taking a bow. He's actually lighting off this, like one of those pop rocket things that
Oh,
like
yeah.
throw out confetti everywhere. And now he's like walking over to you, Elisa, and he's lighting some firecrackers.
Not
And
too
he's
close to the
running
ear.
away. He is
All right.
running away. So
Oh, good.
you
All right,
might
let's talk
hear
about,
the
is Jimmy Buffett here? Erik, did you get him for us?
Oh yeah, he's right next to him. Like Erik is literally beaming right now. He's like,
Oh,
man, he's like, this is the best birthday.
oh yeah. Oh, that's a good reason why we chose him over the other possible topic. All right, let me tell you a little bit, people, about James William Buffett. He was born on Christmas Day in 1946, died September the 1st of this year, 2023. He was an American musician and singer-songwriter. He was best known for his tropical rock music, which often portrayed a lifestyle described as island escapism and promoted enjoying life and following passions. So I think you had the right idea, Jimmy. I really do.
He's going, well, thank you.
My first major question is, did you find that lost shaker of salt?
He's laughing so hard. I can hear his laugh right now.
And did you
And
eat that cheeseburger in paradise?
he's like, way to get into it. He goes, I'll tell you. He says, it was in my back pocket the whole time.
Oh, it's like the glasses were always on top of my head the whole time.
It was more about like, it was a reflection of like, hey, it's always been there. It was my own perception, like
Oh,
of how he goes, but you just think whatever y'all think. Just think whatever
yeah. We need that salt for those margaritas. All right, let's start with these are questions from your beloved fans in our community. First, did you have a good childhood upbringing? I mean, you could just describe your childhood in general if you can.
He's saying, man, mine was fucking fantastic.
Oh,
This guy is such a ball of, I'm not a ball. He is, yes, he is a ball, like so much fun, but his energy is fucking phenomenal. Like
awesome.
everything fucking fantastic.
Oh,
Is such a higher vibrational being. His energy is just like the biggest boom of just like happiness and love and like peace and just joy. I just had to say that. Like he is making me feel just like fucking amazing.
that's awesome. Well, Erik, yeah, go on. Before he talks about his childhood, why don't you give us your thoughts about Jimmy?
He goes, Jimmy, man, he's shaking in his hand right now. He goes, fucking so happy to just have you just be a part of this. He's like, thank you, thank you. He's thanking him so much. He's like, this is my mom.
Oh,
Like, isn't she fucking beautiful?
no, well, I don't know anymore. All right. Well, thank you, Erik. That's a sweet boy. How much do I have to pay you to say that?
And he's being very humble. And he was just like, yeah, man. He's like, no worries, no worries. It's good, it's good. He's like,
Mhm.
I'm happy to be here. He's like, I'm not great with speeches. I'm not great with like, he says, I'm great with singing. I'm great with storytelling. I'm great with people, but with speeches, let's just go with it. Let's just see what happens.
Well, you might have to sing your answers. I don't know, but let's go ahead and talk about your childhood.
So he's talking about he was raised in the South, which I think a lot of people probably know. But he's bringing up just the gratitude that he had, and he's having me listen to the sounds of the ocean right now,
Oh,
and how that I'm getting my spirit bumps. So like that alone really triggered and influenced his vibrational chemistry in his body. Actually, Erik's saying that, not Jimmy, because
okay.
Jimmy's showing me imagery. Jimmy showed me
Okay.
imagery. And so he's not saying much like in particular other than It was fucking amazing. I was so grateful. I loved my parents. I loved my family. Who doesn't go through shit? Who doesn't
Oh,
go
yeah,
through
of course.
He
Yeah.
says it's not important. He
Yeah,
says
no, no.
those little moments of just like that you want to hear. He goes, it's not important. I'm not gonna sit here and fucking tell you some big tragedy story. My life was not tragedy. It was
Awesome. That's the way to
fucking
live. Well,
amazing.
if you had to choose, who were you closest to or most influenced by in your family?
He's bringing up his mom and his dad,
Okay,
really,
so
uh,
equal.
and his
Being diplomatic.
grandparents, and there was no just one person. I mean, there were people that were in and out, he's saying, that I loved. There were people that I admired, but I got so much stories, so much charisma from every single one of you people. Every
Oh,
single one of my family members, every single one of my fans, every single person I ever interacted with, I got so much chemistry and love and vibrational essence that made Jimmy who Jimmy is.
and
Who is
material for those songs. All right, what inspires you to do music? I mean, was it already in the family for one?
Yes, I am hearing that it ran in the family. I'm hearing his mom. So I think his mom used to sing because I'm hearing like a woman singing right now. Um, he's saying that really the influences came through me. Just it was just a drive, he's saying. It was a natural flow. It was just easy for me to just he is being very humble. And he's like, it's not that I was like this great singer, he's saying it's not that I was this amazing guitarist, like, he's comparing himself like, to the higher up like archies of rock and roll. He's
Yeah.
like, it wasn't about that. He's like, I just wanted to hang out, man. He's like, I just wanted to hang out with the guitar and just chill.
Yeah, you're just a great storyteller more than anything. Why did
Right.
you choose this point in time to leave?
He says, oh, that's a tough one. He says, it was just my time to go to another paradise.
Oh,
So this life he did consider paradise. He considered his family paradise. He considered his pets paradise. It was more than just he's saying Key West and every house he owned and different islands. There's just the essence of who he was. He made his own paradise.
yeah.
That's
And we all
really
can, can't we? Maybe that's the lesson
so
we can learn from you.
So in his time of passing, it was very much a life contract thing that was predetermined in
Okay.
life that this was the time that it was gonna go. He's saying, like every good book, the story just needs to end and you don't want it to. He's saying you don't want the chapters and you get so close to the end of that book. He says, and you're like, man, that was a wicked. He's making fun of my Boston accent right now.
Uh,
He's making fun of me. But he's like, man, he says, it was just fantastic book. It was a fantastic movie. And with books and the physical, you get so close to the end and it's like, oh, I don't want this to end.
oh, yeah, I
Well,
get
that's
it.
life. He didn't, but he had a very keen sense of awareness that it was like, I am good. I am going to be fine. He was scared. He was a human being. He was scared. It wasn't all just like, but he put on such a brave face
Mm,
for his family, for
yeah.
he's saying coworkers, which I find interesting because instead of saying my employees, he's saying coworkers.
Oh, nice.
He's saying it was theatrical. It was an event. It was the circus of my life.
That's
And he's
awesome.
saying, you find yourself at different times. He's saying on different levels, on different waves, and you don't know how to roll with it. And it's amazing when you let yourself roll with it, where you roll and where you can get to. The passion is in here. The passion is in you. It's not about when the story ends or how it ends that makes the story. He's saying what makes the story is your emotion through the passing of your entire life,
Yeah.
through all the memories, through all the changes. You get to make that story. You get to be you, and you better fucking drink a margarita doing it.
All right. Tell us about your crossing over. For example, what was it like? But also, who did you meet first?
This is so funny because actually I was getting downloads like right after I heard he passed.
Mhm.
And I didn't ask him. I was actually in the shower and I was shaving my legs.
TMI.
And all of a sudden I download and it was like he was on a hammock and all of a sudden this red parrot, I hate parrots. Parrots hate me. Parrots hate Abby.
Uh-oh.
This parrot for Jimmy, it flew down and it just sat there and it just looked at him. And it's almost like he was waking up. He's showing me again this imagery. He was waking up in the hammock on the beach. And
Wow.
the parrot was just sitting there and he was like kind of like groggy, like you're getting up from a nap. And he's like, just kind of opening his eyes. And this parrot's just sitting there and just looking at him. And his first thought was, well, now this is paradise. He's saying that it wasn't a hard passing. It wasn't like a boom,
Right.
white light, here's your spirit guides. It was like just smooth. It was just this
Where was the parrot? Was the parrot anybody you knew? Or a metaphor, maybe?
No, he says it was just a damn parrot.
Okay. Is heaven what you thought it would be, Jimmy?
And so much more. And so much more.
Did you believe in an afterlife?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. He says, oh yeah. Yeah, he did. He
Oh,
did.
that's awesome.
Because he was already encrypted and he like knows this now, but he kind of knew this in life too. He was already encrypted and downloaded with information about what heaven is like. Well,
Oh,
his heaven will say that. Okay. He says, you like fucking Antarctica and that's your heaven. Guess what? You'll be in Antarctica.
yeah,
You decide you like dolphins and you want to fucking swim with them. He says, you'll swim with dolphins.
exactly. That's what Erik, you say that too, don't you, Erik? That you create your own afterlife.
Eric's like, sure do. Sure do. Eric's like, I just wish I could take credit for that.
Of course.
Yeah,
Did
it's just
other famous artists you knew greet you?
this is interesting. He's saying, well, Lisa, he's saying, you'd think that. Of course you would. He's harassing you. It's really just about he wasn't so interested in meeting famous artists. He loved culture. He loved different cultures. He loved rhythmic beats. He loved what was famous to him was not maybe famous to so many.
Okay.
So the people that he was meeting was like, we're talking about like chiefs and things like that. We're talking about different folk singers. We're
Oh,
talking about like different like ethnical groups of music as
okay.
a collective energy. It wasn't like other people that passed and they're like, I want to meet Elvis. It was
Oh,
like
yeah, right. I got you.
that wasn't him. It was just like he really loved rhythm beats. Okay, so let's talk about Bob Marley. He's bringing up. He says, let's talk
Oh,
about Bob.
okay.
He says, if you want to ask me if it was damn cool that we were sitting around a campfire and I'm sitting next to Bob Marley trying to keep on my guitar with him, I mean, come the fuck on, people. He's like, who would
Oh,
think that was damn cool? Yeah, I met people, but it wasn't important to him as like, okay, Bob Marley was pretty cool. And there's other groups that he like people that may or not be so well known
yeah,
that
right.
he wanted to meet. Like he's bringing up African music. Like
Yeah, I bet.
like African music, Jamaican beats. Like, of course, I mean, listen to
Yeah.
the influences in a song. So
Like
yeah.
steel band. I love steel drums. Okay. This was from a community member. Are you having a cheeseburger in paradise?
He says, man, I'll have 20 a day.
All right. And what was behind that? Cheeseburger in paradise.
So he's showing me, he's saying the simplest stories come from the simplest things that can be projected as the biggest songs when really it was very simple. He's showing me on a boat, and he's showing me he was on this boat for like hours and he was hungry. And they ended up like they were just on this boat for hours. They ran out of snacks. And
Oh,
he stopped somewhere, and it was this not what it was like this tiny island-esque area. He in this little divey kind of bar, and there was cheeseburgers they were selling, and it was like the best cheeseburger he had ever had because
wow.
the craving for like, oh man, I just want a cheeseburger. I'm starving. And
Oh, now I want a cheeseburger. Oh my God.
yeah, no,
Right.
that's we came up with the song. So it's he's saying it's so simplistic,
Yeah.
these little moments. He says that you think are just nothing and then they just explode.
Yeah. You
They
treasure those
become
little moments. Treasure every moment, right?
that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And Eric's jumping in. People, that's what I've been fucking saying. And he goes, it takes Jimmy Buffett to tell you that. He
Oh,
says,
we knew, Eric. Some of us took you seriously. All right. Are you going to mentor anyone from your side of the veil? Probably just going to chill for a while. That's what I'm going to do.
no, he's there's part of this that yes, part of him wants to like relax, of course, but
Yeah.
it's
Maybe
not
later.
it's not who you'd think he'd influence. It's he's saying it's the boy sitting on the beach, and he has this little fire that he built himself, and he's just sitting with there with his guitar, just trying to make a beat. He's like, I don't care if you flip that guitar over backwards and just start hitting it like a drum. He's saying, oh, he has much more of a southern accent than I ever expected.
Hmm.
He's saying that he really is interested in just the vibrational collective of people that just need to find their own escapism with in peace. It's
Yeah.
not so much he says that I'm just grandiose music teacher. It's not that. It's just about helping you find a way to meditate and find your peace of mind. Peace of
Okay.
mind is very big for him. It's not like you think. It's not that hard, but it's the hardest thing you'll ever do because it's the smallest pushes that work in the biggest ways that
Mm.
you'll ever expect. He's so animated. He's so animated.
Wow. It's
Yeah.
probably so difficult because people don't think that the simple things have that much power, right?
The simple things he's saying have every power.
Yeah.
You have no idea. He's saying, I look down there, I am down there, and I knew it at the time. He's saying, I knew it at the
Yeah.
time. And I says, I was grumpy, I was cranky, I was exhausted. He says, but I also had a state of mind of like separation and compartmentalization.
Yeah.
He really was able, and this is actually a gift in my opinion, to step away from the work for just a minute and breathe. He's saying the salty air, feel your skin being sun-kissed.
Yeah.
It wasn't just this, like, it wasn't just Florida and Key West that he appreciated the communities of people
Yeah.
like all over the country and all over the world. So it wasn't just about a Key West state of mind. It was about peace. It was about making your own choices, and how liberating he says that is, how fucking liberating it is to make a choice that makes a change, to change the trajectory of this world, not just yourself. Because
Wow.
one little choice, one little opinion, one little smile, one little happy moment, happy day, he's saying can change somebody else, which changes somebody else, which changes fucking somebody else, which changes somebody else, it changes you, it changes you, it changes
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Exactly. People tend to focus on the complicated and the dark. All right, here's the next question. I found your writing in songs and books refreshing and relatable. I would love to hear your description of music in the afterlife. Erik, in your book, My Life After Death, you describe music, but let's hear what Jimmy has to say.
He's saying it's the essence of who we are. we are all vibrational beings. It's the essence of who you are. That's why everybody finds peace, joy, sadness, love. It helps you explain your own emotions to yourself. It's part of the processing of the situation, the vibrational tunage of it. Okay. He's saying, oh shit, I forgot the question. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
how
just
about,
wanted to say,
describe your, give me your description of music in the afterlife.
it's contentment. It's beautiful. It's peace. It's harmony. It is what he thought it would be, but he was doing it in his own way here. That was the way up there.
Oh,
He already had this awareness with his storytelling and his music that music was not just learning the chords or strumming on an instrument or playing a beat. It really was so much more than that. And that's why he used to listen to a lot of old sailor music, a lot of old tunes, a lot of old music that may not have been recorded, but was just like folklore singing,
yeah,
chants, rhythms, things, because it wasn't just about the vibration, it was about the emotion behind the vibration. So to be up
yes,
there
yeah.
and see I was right the whole fucking time.
That's awesome. Okay, so are there any instrument? Are any of the sounds very similar to the ones that instruments here or voices here can be heard on Earth?
He's saying down here it's more chaotic with the sounds. Up there, you can separate the sounds to their own, each individual spectrum of light and glory. You can appreciate each harmonizing rhythm of each vibration to the music. So he keeps showing me this flower,
Yeah.
and it's waving kind of in the heavenly wind.
Mhm.
And he's showing me the echoes that come off of that and the
Oh,
ripples of music that
mhm.
create. So down here, it's more of a tangible sound that you have to create. But he's saying that the music is in the nature, the music is in the environment. And that was a God fucking given gift, people. He says that I had, that I didn't. I did. Sorry, I did. That I did recognize, and that I was able to chum into that, to dive into that. I just liked it, and it wasn't ever a question, and it's still not, that why for myself did I like music or did I gravitate. He says whatever, I just did it, I just liked it, and that's why I did it. He's not
Okay.
really complicated when you
No,
ask questions,
no.
Elisa, so you know.
The flower. Are you talking about a real flower in heaven, letting off these echoes and music?
He's
And
showing me this flower, just it almost looks like a tulip almost,
all
and
right,
it's purple, and it's waving kind of in the wind, and he's showing me you can see the vibration and how that's creating a sound.
okay,
And now he's showing me a bird, like a little bird, and how it's making it sound, and it's creating, like, it looks like smoke rings, but it's
okay.
sound. That's music. That's music. And up in heaven, I still appreciate all those qualities that he's saying. It's not that I don't, it's just now I understand how things are more interconnected.
Yeah. All right. Did you have any idea? This is the last question for part one, and then we'll stop and we'll start part two. Do you have any idea of the simple joy your music brought to others? That's a good one to end off on.
Fuck yeah. That's why I did it.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Thank you guys. Check out Abby in the description box below. And Jimmy, if you'll hold on, sip your margarita. We'll be right back with a few more questions from our
Water
lovely.
right
Uh-huh. What's that?
now. Actually drinking a water.
Oh, okay. Well,
Eric
hydrate,
drinks
hydrate,
water.
hydrate. You drink too many margaritas with salt on the rim, you need to hydrate. All right, you guys, and Erik, I love you. Jimmy, thank you for sticking around for part two. You guys hit the notification bell so you don't miss it. Bye-bye.
Bye.